Thank you. And thank you, Swami Vivekananda, so much for the invitation, and the Vedanta Society of Berkeley for hosting us for Temple Sinai for me. And thank you to the members of our adult choir, Jessica, Tanya, Sherry, Valerie, and Phil. Thank you all so much for being here and for extending the warmth of our music and our prayers for peace in friendship to everyone here today. I am only very humbly at the beginning of my learning of the Swami and everything that he has taught and that he brought, but already I am so grateful for the message of the oneness of God and for the harmony of all religions. It is very meaningful and very inspiring. At the end of this year, Temple Sinai will be celebrating 150 years since our congregation was founded. We are proud to be part of the Oakland community from the very beginning, and have actively chosen time and again to cast our lot with the people of our city of Oakland. And we're proud to be part of the city's diversity. And when you're part of the city of Oakland, you always carry that sense of hope and that sense of optimism that all together will be able to celebrate the diversity of our community together. I'd like to believe that members of my community, which 125 years ago was called the First Hebrew Congregation of Oakland, were there to hear him teach, and that they were inspired by him and learned from him, and saw the similarities that our religious traditions share. Truly, being in community with those who practice different traditions and come from different places not only enables us to learn about the identities and practices of others, but they often help us to learn more about ourselves as well. In Judaism, we have a history of enriching our tradition based on what we learn from others. We read in the second book of Torah, the book of Exodus, that when the Israelites left Egypt, and just before the giving of the Ten Commandments, the people find themselves lost in the wilderness, figuratively as well as physically. They don't know what the plan is for where they are going, only that the life that they knew is no more. Even Moses at this point has not been given clear direction. And so in this moment of feeling lost, Moses' father-in-law comes and seeks out the people. He brings with him his daughter Tzipporah, who was married to Moses, as well as their two sons. And they were living in Midian, therefore not a part of the Exodus itself. Now Jethro himself is a leader amongst his people. And when he encounters the situation the Israelites find themselves in, he helps Moses develop as a leader, and he does this in two ways. First, he tells Moses that the work of leadership is too much for him to carry alone, that he needs to delegate tasks and responsibility. And second, Jethro teaches Moses the necessary rituals that become the foundation of Judaism in the wilderness. He was told the miracles that God had wrought on the Israelites' behalf, and then teaches Moses and the people how to properly offer a sacrifice of thanksgiving to God. Prior to this, the Israelites have simply been reacting to what happens to them. They have not known how to reach out themselves and offer something of themselves that would be ritually meaningful. And thus it is Jethro, a priest and leader of a non-Israelite people, who teaches us how to communicate with God. We became who we are because he taught us. Too often in human history, we consider anything that comes from the outside as threatening or dangerous. And a seeming threat can cause a violent reaction. We see this in our world far too often. So as well as learning from our history of learning from outsiders, Judaism also unfortunately has a long history of wanting to distance ourselves from things that are different. Times when we are told not to mix with foreigners, that it can be dangerous to live amongst them. We were supposed to shut them out, specifically because we were afraid that we may become too much like them. We weren't confident in our own tradition enough to feel that it could withstand the comparison. And if we let the outside in, it will change us. And we were afraid. People today sometimes articulate that a little differently. Sometimes we hear that the outside will change us, but we also hear that people see themselves as superior to what they view as different. That whatever is outside their experience is inferior and should therefore be suppressed. But perhaps it is also fear that motivates this sense of superiority. It is a fear born of insecurity, the fear that maybe my way of life isn't the way that life should be, that maybe my beliefs are not true or real. But if everyone does what I do, then I don't have to question myself. Similarities offer assurance that I'm doing the right thing, that people are doing the right thing, and that are living in the right way. So insecurity helps create the negativity around diversity and difference, and insecurity fuels hate. Perhaps then the antidote to hate is not just trying to understand the other, but also learning to feel good and confident in ourselves, even as others feel good and confident about themselves and live very differently. The contrast between our practices and others can actually help us understand ourselves better. Other traditions can inspire us to become more fully us, ourselves. So not only must we learn from others, then it is important to also share who we are with others. Our lives and perspectives can help others grow, and sharing ourselves can be good for everyone. That too can be scary, as it is difficult to trust others, to be vulnerable with others, to voice our perspectives and our beliefs, risking judgment. It takes confidence to learn, and it takes courage to share. Swami Vivekananda is a model for what we need to strive for in this way. He taught his tradition, and even 125 years ago, trusted that he could be received in a positive and productive way. And his sharing of himself certainly contributed to the bridges and the bonds that we all continue to make here and around the world. May we all get to a point where we are able to both learn and to teach others. May we help guide others' spirituality and have others inspire us. It is a reality that our world is diverse. People differ from one another, and there are multiple perspectives, and it is ignorant and useless to think otherwise. So may we embrace this reality together, grow with it together, and live enriched lives because of each other. In Jewish tradition, there's a blessing that we say when we are appreciative of something, when we want to mark the first time that we do something or recognize the significance of this moment. And so all of us here together celebrating the history that can help us build a better future is a beautiful moment that we bark with the Shehechianu. Please join with me if you know the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, eternal God, who gives us life, who sustains us, and who enables us to experience this moment. Amen.